Check, check, check. Check 1, 2. It's G from the Academy. There are times when more happens in 24 hours than happens in a person's entire life. You know that one decision you make that changes everything? These are those. the- These are the times when these decisions are being made, with or without us. Look what came through my door this morning. Came through my door this morning. If you're watching the video version, I've got this coronavirus COVID-19 information for your government. They're not backing down. I've got the leaflet, the letter direct to every person in the country. They're not backing down. They're ramping it up because they're winning and they know that we are getting tired and they're pushing back hard. What does it even mean? Listen to this. Listen to this, right? Written in the literature. I'm over 70, 28 weeks pregnant, or over or receive the flu jab annually. If you are in one of these groups, you have an increased risk of severe illness from coronavirus. Um, Insanity. No, they're telling you that they're telling you, work it out. Come on, put two and two together. You can do that. You can do that, right? This is their liability cover for when all the shit hits the fan and all the information comes out. Secondly, if you if you're following these guidelines, remember that they're guidelines, they're dictates, it's advice, right? There's no rule. People haven't voted on it. Your parliament hasn't voted on it. You understand? This is bypassing the whole system of 350 years of so-called democratic systems here, right? This is insanity. They're bypassing the whole vote for people, introduce a topic, vote on the topic, introduce a bill becomes a law, etc., etc. They're bypassing it all. They're just telling you what to do. Now, this is pure authoritarianism. It has to stop because if it continues, it's the end of everything. And they also want to make you tired of democracy as well. That's a secondary agenda. They want to make you tired of everything. They want to wear you down. They want to make you submit to whatever is going on. It's the abuser and the abused all over again, right? Along with this ridiculous pamphlet designed to scare people, they're not protecting anybody. They're not saving anybody. They're for what is it? What is it? For 400% more empty beds in the NHS now than usually at this time of year. Nurses getting laid off, not just in this country, but all over the world, because there's not enough work for them. Operations getting cancelled, cancers not getting screened, dental treatment not happening. It's insanity. Or in some countries they're like, oh well, we'll stay open, but you have to pay more for the same service, paying more for the same. They screw you left, they screw you right. They screw you front, they screw you back, they screw you any which way they can. Meanwhile, you can call a number for advice where somebody's not going to be able to help you if you've got a serious problem. Pure insanity, pure insanity. It comes with a bloody letter as well. Thank you. It comes with a bloody letter, right? Do you want me to read? I was going to cover topics. I'm going to spend 5 minutes on this letter because this is another part of the propaganda. It's another part of the insanity. It's another part of the mindfuck. Yeah. These are challenging times. Probably, this is the letter. I'm reading the letter. These are challenging times. Probably the most challenging many of us in Scotland have ever faced. However, we're in it together. The fuck we're in it together? You're fucking me over. We're not in it together. This is not locked down. This is locked up. Fix it. Sort it. Get it right in your head. It's not what they tell you it is. Right? It's not what they tell you it is. It's not for you. Right? We'll get through it together. It's not going to be the same when you come out the other side. You're being minced. Your brain is being minced. Right? It's not the same when you come out the other side. Work it out. Work it out. I don't underestimate how difficult this has been, or continues to be. This is from Nicola Sturgeon, the First Minister of Scotland, if it's even from her. I like to think that it actually is, but it's a stamp at the bottom. I don't know. Um, from the disruption to home, school, work, and social life arising from not social life, not to mention the pain and the death, to the economic pressures for businesses and citizens, to the worry and heartache of illness, and tragically for some, bereavement. The impact of COVID-19 reaches each and every one of us. Yeah, well, this is just to scare the shit out of you, isn't it? Right? It's to make you conform. They don't really care, right? They do a genius job of making you think that they care. Do you realize that governments have whole divisions and departments of people designed to release certain information to make you think a certain way? Do you even know what the Tavistock Institute is? Do you even know? Do you even know what these professors are sitting in their university offices writing about? Do you do you even know about behaviorism? Do you even know about social control? Do you even know about the terminology and language that's being used right now? Do you understand what an oxymoron is? What the do you? Do you? No, no, no. Just put your head in the sand and imagine that somebody else has turned out the lights. It's insanity. Um, we can all play our part. Even those at home can play their part by following the guidelines and staying at home. Stay at home, stay at home, stay at home, don't move, stay at home. Oh, not to mention right, I should read it, Yet together we have the power to get together. Wait till they have like the songs. We're all together now, all together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're all in it together. One world at home. Yeah, yeah. Oh, here's my little ditty song I wrote about a coronavirus and how we're going to defeat it by following the rules laid down by people who don't know what they're doing, who listen to people who make up statistics. Not kidding. Not kidding. Look at the previous, go through the previous 15 hours of content I've provided for you. Go through it. Really? Go through it step by step. Look at the articles. Yeah? Look at the articles. Challenge the points. Challenge the numbers. But oh no, it's too, I'll just take his... They arrested a fucking surfer here. They arrested a surfer. It's Aberdeen, just up the coast. They arrested a surfer. What the hell crime is it to surf? When are you going to wake up, huh? They'll be arresting your fucking dog next. No, they're going to leave the dog. Because the dog's not going to fight back, is it? Going to arrest you. At least it's a good reason to have a dog so you can get out, right? If you didn't have a dog, you wouldn't have a bloody excuse, would you? And then think where you'd be. Think. My God. Yet together we have the power to get through the crisis, because there is a role for everyone in helping to stop the spread of the mysterious virus. The essential workers and volunteers keeping Scotland moving, those in the NHS and in social care, looking after, praise the great gods of the medical industrial complex. Right? Forget about the nutritionists, huh? Forget about the people selling the fruit and vegetables that keep you healthy. Don't mention them. They're not important, are they? Forget about the gyms that you forced to close, because that's not important, is it? Let's not thank the people selling home exercise equipment, shall we? Oh, look out there. There's actually somebody walking towards the water with his surfboard. You fucking hero. You fucking hero, right? Those are the people, being good examples for society. Not being timid, not being a sheep, not being afraid. Bloody hell, right? I'm just crumpling up the paper in my hands as I talk. I know as time goes on, these restrictions can become frustrating. We all miss seeing friends and family, or visits to the coast and the countryside. We all miss that. But I bet you think that the people with money and the private planes are not going wherever they want, doing whatever they want. You think that? Really? Really, just did you know, which which degree in naivety did you get? Huh? You want to tell me that? Yeah. What did you go to the school of ignorance? Yeah. Bend over. Go on. Bend over more. That's it. That's it. Thank you. I know these restrictions can become frustrating. Where did I lost my place? However, these measures are essential for beating the spread of the virus because distancing yourself from people beats virus, not herd immunity. Of course, naturally, even though the masks don't work, just go to Wikipedia. It tells you masks don't stop you spreading disease. And you're supposed to get fresh air. You can't get fresh air if you're breathing the same dirty air back in. You complete retards. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. I don't actually mean that. I know that you've just following the information because it's the best you can do because you don't know what else to do. Yeah, I take that back. Look, that I walk that back. Right, right. It's name calling does not get us anywhere. That is such that is so true. It's only education and the slow process of it that gets us somewhere. Right. I apologize. I'm not perfect. Right. None of us are bloody perfect, are we? Do the best I can with... Well, no, we've got to do better. Yeah. The only way that things are going to change and be different is if we do things better. Whatever side of the fence you're on. Right? Um, these measures are essential for blah, 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 blah. Following them, you're part of our collective. It's collective. It's the collective. It's the social collective. It's the communist collective. It's the commune. It's the community. Right? .com. Huh? Right. Um, you're part of our collective effort. I've just switched the accent now. To look for our most vulnerable, look after our, you're not looking after the most vulnerable people if you're forcing them to isolate from society. That kills people as much as anything else. Lack of human contact is a fundamental factor in depression that leads to illness, leads to disease, leads to stress. You're not helping. You're hindering. Jesus, work it out. Work it out. Right? Do you even know the numbers? Do you know, like, what is it now? 0. John Hopkins University study that I posted. The infection rate is really small in this one. And what are you going to do? What are your businesses going to do if this shit comes back? Because we strung it out because we tried to flatten the curve. We strung it out. We made it last longer. We tried to flatten the curve. What are you going to do when it catapults back? Huh? What are you going to do when it swings back around? What are you going to do with your businesses then? What are you going to do with your society then? What are you going to do with your schools then? What are you going to do with your libraries then? Huh? What are you going to do? Tell me about it. Huh? Part of the collective. Protect our NHS and save lives. Even though we're killing people right now by saving. Yeah, but we can't save everybody. Really? Really? Well, then why are we doing this? Huh? It really is that important. This is not forever. Really? We didn't lie. You lied. You extended it. Oh, it's just going to be 2 weeks and then 4 weeks and then 6 weeks. And don't worry, it's ending soon. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it for you. Just do what we tell you, and everything will be okay. Well, that doesn't sound authoritarian at all. Oh, but we have to do it because what would you do otherwise? Well, read, learn, study, take vitamin C and get vitamin D. There's a million things that you can do. It's not forever. The restrictions will be lifted as soon as it's safe to do so. Oh, and who's going to decide that? The same people that put us in this SHIT in the first place, right? Are you going to go back to the same people who got all the statistics wrong? Your Oxford University professors who are not even being held accountable by the media, who are just printing the most ridiculous nonsense and rubbish in general. Here and there, there's a good little story, but you've got to, you've got to weave and dodge to find it, right? Um, As soon as it's safe to do so, we will release the restrictions. On the back of this letter, you can find helpful explanation about what to do. Yeah, wash your hands. I'm going to say that. I bet you it says that on the back. No. It's all about. If your symptoms worsen or have not improved after 7 days, phone 111, and somebody on the end of the telephone will tell you what to do. Have you tried calling these numbers? Have you tried calling your doctor? Do you realize that the government is not in control? Do you realize that the private institutions are shutting down the businesses? The government didn't even say that most of the businesses should be closed. Do you have any idea? Just go to UK, the gov.uk, and look for advice to businesses. It's advice. Not to mention the fact that they don't point out which money went where from the government to which organizations. But don't worry, it'll trickle down to the bottom. Insanity. Welcome to insanity. I also understand this crisis is taking its toll in other ways. We're working hard to provide the support and advice even... No, you're not. You're not. The health system is shut down, right? The health system is shut down. Meanwhile, there's virus stuff everywhere. Every time I turn on my phone, every time I go into social media, every time I turn on my computer, there's information. Boom, 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 boom. Can't escape. It's everywhere. Get everybody thinking about it all the time. Well, that's sure to help, right? That's sure to help. My God, I got to do another post as well about the Koch's virus bacteria theory system thing. That's not a good explanation, is it? Look, because something exists does not mean that the existence of something is the cause of a certain disease. These are immune system response failures that we're seeing, right? We're not treating the immune system. You understand? You understand that everybody's body is different and is going to respond in different ways, and that we're under a multifaceted attack at the moment. The human mind, the human system, the human organism is under attack, not just from a virus, but from people. Do you get it yet? It's not anger, it's passion. It's not anger, it's passion. It's not anger, it's passion. You probably haven't seen much of that. Real passion for humanity. Not passion for the latest video game. Not passion for opening a fucking box. Real passion. Real passion. Real passion for understanding, for learning, for growth, for reading inserts. Right? We've been gifted with this language. We better learn to use it properly. It's really important to do all these things. This is not forever. The restrictions will be lifted as soon as it's safe to do so. Yada, yada, yada. It's taking its toll on families and communities. For anyone worried about their mental or physical health, staying safe in difficult circumstances, dealing with financial worries, or we'll help you with your worries. We want to help you with your facts. We'll give you a loan that you have to pay back. Pay back. Don't worry. We'll click as the handcuffs go on, right? Click, click. Huh? Can you believe it? You know what that sound is? The sound of the click. It's the sound of the cell door closing behind you. But then you wake up and realize that the cell is your home, the place that you pay for, right? They've got us paying to live on our own planet. 7 ways to Sunday. 7 ways to Sunday. Read the enclosed leaflet. You'll feel better. We will get through it. The time will come when normality returns. Shops and businesses will reopen. No, they won't, because they've gone out of business. Lie. We'll meet up freely with friends and family. We'll reflect on contributions made. We will be able to properly mourn those lost. Right now, however, as I write this letter, our focus remains as a country on staying the course. Yes, yes, what you don't understand is that the lockdown is factually actually going to kill more people than the virus itself. And um, and it's not, it's, do, do you even know what you've let happen? Do you even know what you've slept, like slept yourself into? Do you know? Do you understand? Bloody hell. And there we go. I've wasted 20 minutes on that when I could have been giving you decent, informative information. Um, as a point, my name is G.W. Hendry. You can find me under Graham William Hendry on Facebook, Twitter. You can find the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching all over the internet for as long as they let me post stuff. And they will let me post stuff as long as it doesn't get too big. And then once it gets too big, they'll shut it down, just like they delete all the doctor's videos from Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. Um, as Facebook is the best of the worst, right? You know, it's it's the best of the worst. Crazy, huh? Um, anyway, if you're watching the video version of this, you can see my Twitter page. Um, understand this. Look, I post these photo memes that I create every day. Um, and if you're not using social media, I recommend that you start, because there won't be any other media left very soon. Um, it's estimated that you need to post to get recognition. It's estimated you need to post 50 to 80 times a day across social media platforms. 50 to 80 times a day. I'm doing it 25 to 50 right now because that's the amount I can handle. Um, Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Anyway, um, I post because something is better than nothing in general. Um, Although quality matters. Don't get me wrong. Quality matters. Yeah, but saying that, if you've got a message, just put it out. Don't worry about what other people think. They care less than you think they do in general. Sad but true. Look around the world at the state of affairs that we're in. Like you worry about which t-shirt you're going to wear. Who gives a flying monkey about what t-shirt you're going to wear? You worry, oh, somebody might think of, oh, I got to wear this because it's... No one's even going to remember what t-shirt you wore. And if they do, it's going to be for the wrong reason anyway. It's, oh yeah, you know, I really liked the t-shirt. And yeah, what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you wear. It's not from some kind of Motown song. Um, I guess there was some truth in that. You've just got to be there. There means outside in sunshine. Sunshine's good for you. That's where all life comes from, the existence of the sun up there. Look at flowers, right? It's, ooh, sun, happy, no sun, sad, right? Very simple. Simple principle. Now, whether you know it or not, um, whether you like it or not, you will get what you want. That's a meme I posted today, and it's important because here's the key. Most people don't understand what they really want. It's like, I really want this, but you're not. You're doing something different. Yeah, and then you'll have a subconscious voice in the back of your mind actually telling you to do something because that's what you really want. The reason why you don't have what you want to have is because maybe that's not what you really want to have. Maybe that's just what you're telling people. Anyway, um, you get what you're willing to accept. That's the truth as well. How you serve leads to what you deserve. Oh, how true that is. How true that is. And through this and there uh, uh, through this crisis, we're going to be challenged in lots of different ways. We're going to be challenged about our approach to life. We're going to be challenged about what we think. We're going to be challenged about our friendships, our families. We're going to be challenged about our mindset, our thoughts, our consideration of what's happening. And another meme I put out, the more that you consider history, the more time you spend looking back rather than looking forward. Understand history, but move in the other direction. We don't want to go back to being cave people, right? We don't want that. Um, but at the same time, we want to go back and reflect on the things that are important. We want to understand the mistakes and not go down the same road. Know your history. As people don't. I mean, it's amazing how ignorant people are of the important events of history, even though we have history classes in school, but that just turns into a story of, I don't know, I hope you had a great history teacher wherever you went to school. My history teachers were the most boring people on the planet. And how can you make the most interesting subject in the world boring? And why would you employ boring people to teach kids the most interesting subject? What is going on with all of that? We need to we need to be better. We need to be better. Yeah. Other notes from Twitter. David Knight interviewed John Rappaport. Um, Two gods in the same studio. Great men doing great things. Um, and we're not, it's little things to point out. We're not, it's not social distancing that's happening. It's constitutional distancing. Right? They're distancing you from reality. They're distancing you from what you need. From what you need. And Dan Bongino tweeted out, how does running out of food sound to the absolutely clueless? Shut it all down or people will die crowd. Do you understand? Do you understand if you're forcing people to stay at home, if you're forcing people to change their work patterns, if you're interrupting the commerce and the supply chains, we're headed for a giant crash. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Had it so good for so long, so long, so long. That's how it goes. Um, hey, Jeremy Boring, is that a real name? I love what he posted though. It's amazing how little data they needed before shutting the world down and taking the freedoms, and how much data they're demanding to let it reopen. I mean, it's inverted. Reality has been inverted. Sanity has been inverted. Clarity has been inverted. Logic has been inverted. Flipped everything. It's all flipped. It's all flipped. I mean, if you're going to essentially cancel civil liberties of the entire population for a few weeks, you should have some evidence that the strategy will work. No evidence, nothing presented. And their lockdown advocates fail miserably because they simply don't have the evidence. Lime and Stone. Yep, Lime and Stone. There you go. Things to think about. Right. Are you with me? Are you with me? I'm going to hop over to the Facebook stories for as long as the powers that be will let me share all of this with you. Take a moment to think about this. Take a moment and this is what people are not thinking about. They're thinking about the next Netflix series. They're not thinking about how long is the food chain. It's not a person's everyday thought. Well, how long is the food chain? They go to the shop and they pick stuff off the shelf. They have no idea how the stuff got to the shelf. The average person has no idea. And if you know, your neighbor probably doesn't. Right? Your neighbor, I mean, that wine that you buy that says Spanish wine or whatever, New Zealand wine is probably being bottled in London, right? You know what they do with like international trade and stuff like that. They like if the white wine from, let's see, wine from Hungary. What they do is they bottle the wine in one country, they put it in a truck, they drive it to Hungary across the border, and then they drive it back, and then it is wine from Hungary. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I've conversed with companies that do this. Um, It's all a trick. It's all a trick. Most people have got no idea what's going on. See all these meat factories closing? Have you noticed all the meat factories closing? Do you even know who owns the meat factories? Do you even know who's bought them out? Do you even know if they bought them out because they wanted to expand production? A lot of people buy companies to close them down for specific reasons, right? Do you care? I mean, I've worked with big companies, and it always shocks me to ask the question, who do you work for? Oh, I work for this person. I work for this company. Okay, yeah, but you're working for a person, and who do they work for, and who's above them, and who's above? Nobody knows who's at the top. They don't care. I've got my little tasks to do every day, and every now and then they send me somewhere, and it's nice, so I quite like that. So I just stick to what I'm doing, and I don't question anything. Look, I wrote. You want some background? I'll give you some crazy ass background, right? That I wrote a book on grammar, grimoire, for those that understand. I wrote a book on grammar, gram, the pentagram and ram, gram, the weight. I wrote a book on grammar because I broke down the language and realized that the way that it's taught is insane. But then you try to explain this to people like, oh, we already have a system in place. It's backwards. It's completely backwards. It's taught in a way to ensure that people don't fully understand it. Language is taught in a way to ensure that people don't fully understand it. Maybe I'll publish the book one day. Maybe, but it's beyond. The average person just doesn't care. I should have just put the book online and let people, navigate their own way through it, because I did a presentation on it once to a group of teachers, and right over their heads. Right over their heads. I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta dumb this stuff down in order to make it understandable. Here was me thinking that it's a mistake thinking that everybody's thinking. Especially it's a mistake thinking that everybody's thinking about what you're thinking, because they got their own shit to deal with, which is why you have to keep the communication channels open. Right? Anyway, the food chain, right? The steps between the farm and your table. I mean, the less steps there are, the more secure it is. Globalism was a lie that doesn't work, right? I mean, get involved if you want to get involved. Travel if you can travel. If you can't anymore, now, you see what's happening. I'm sorry, no travel agents. I'm sorry, no travel. I'm sorry, you'll need an immunity passport now. Really? Any excuse, right? Any excuse. The powers that be don't want the people to be free. I know that's hard to process. How can that possibly be? I'm a good person, so everybody must be a good person. You're a good person because you've dealt with your dark side. You've dealt with the dark part. A lot of people haven't. A lot of people have not dealt with the dark side. They've not dealt with the dark part. They got a long way to go. A lot of people got a long way to go in dealing with those elements. Yeah, take the farmers. Think about your local farmers. Think of the food chain supply. Think about your local farmers market. You're close to the food. Think about what happens in the supermarket, the farm, the transportation, the distribution, the supermarket, the table. Think about what happens in a meal kit service, where the farm, transportation, distribution, packaging, delivery before it gets to your table. The more parts in the process, the more complicated it is, and this whole system is crashing right now. Right? Simplify to clarify. Simplify to clarify. Because what's happening right now, it's all a strategy of tension and fear. They want to break you. They want to snap you like a pencil. Yeah. They're going to use, they'll snap you in half and go, look, we made two of you. That's the kind of insanity. That's it. And just in case you were wondering, which you probably were not, to counter the lie you've been told, if you go to Wikipedia and search surgical face mask, A surgical mask, also known as a procedure mask, medical mask, or simply a face mask, is intended to be worn by health professionals during surgery and during nursing to catch the bacteria shed in liquid droplets and aerosols from the wearer's nose and mouth. They are not designed, remix. They are not designed to protect the wearer from inhaling airborne bacteria or virus particles and are less effective than respirators such as N95 or FFP masks, which provide better protection due to their shape, material, and tight seal. But don't worry, because all the celebrities are wearing them and you will look like a celebrity if you have one too. So, um, yeehaw, right? Yeehaw. Meanwhile, from TheGuardian.com, some pure propaganda. We all want to protect ourselves from coronavirus, but we need to make sure the things we're doing are effective. There are several measures we can take to reduce the spread of COVID-19, including physical distancing, thorough hand washing, keeping surfaces clean, protecting the most vulnerable by staying at home and isolating ourselves if we have symptoms. Human life requires contact with adversity in order to survive. The less contact we have. What's going to happen with everybody isolating? What's going to happen when they go back out? Huh? What's going to happen when they go back out into the real world? What's going to happen when they go back out? Tell me. Yep. Yep. You know what's going to happen is they're all going to get sick because they're suddenly going to have contact with reality. With reality. Okay. If you take only one thing from this presentation, if you get through it, you have to watch the interview with, oh my gosh, what are they? It was the ABC interviews with two doctors, which got it got removed from a lot of places on the internet. The title was, "Did these doctors just expose a COVID-19 conspiracy?" from ABC News, where two doctors from the most respected hospital in the world say that the lockdown will cause the collapse of society. And if you're not prepared to listen to them, then just go and, I don't know, go back to bed, right? That's the polite way of, that's the polite way of saying it. Meanwhile, the BBC just managed to do a report of a woman walking around Moscow, and I can't decide if she's playing dumb or she's just like walking around in her own nightmare, where she talks about basically how the cameras are keeping everybody safe and how constant surveillance is what is providing security for people, even though there isn't really any security for people. The people are living in fear. They're terrorized by their government, and the evidence is in what I showed you at the beginning. Oh, the cameras, new cameras, they scan people's faces. They send instant alerts to police if anyone is outside. Can you believe this? Can you believe we walked into this nightmare? Russia is, and it's as if it's not here. It's all about Russia. Russia is using facial recognition software to catch Moscow residents breaking lockdown. Right, but it's for our own good. Right? Remember, we have to protect you from you. Right? We have to protect you from you. Meanwhile, the few brave people that exist, and the reason why they're brave is because they know that they're going to get attacked for saying this. The few brave people that exist are actually recording their little videos in their car. You can Facebook Enough is Enough -UK and listen to one gentleman's semi-coherent recent rant. I wish people would provide facts and statistics in their rants rather than just rant. It's not helping when people just rant without providing some level of statistical data or information. But don't worry, we're coming with vaccines to help you, aren't we? To help you, just you. That's why if you're watching the video, you can see a happy, whatever. Here we go. A former Navy, that's what I wanted to say, a former Navy agent, doctor, there we go, talking about what is in the vaccinations that they want to give you. Do you have any idea? And she talks about the codes, and she talks about what that means, and she talks about the fact that there are aborted fetal cell lines going back decades in the vaccines. She talks about the fact that there is cancer. There is cancer in the vaccinations. This is going to get me banned. I'm pretty sure this is going to get me banned, but whatever. Whatever. They don't ban you now, though. They just disappear you. First they disappear the information, then they disappear the people. I don't think I'll get disappeared. I just think that they'll just erase the data. And then it will be like it never happened. There was no information. There was no problem. These are not the droids you're looking for. Yeah, basically, you know what the vax. Have you seen like that Bill Gates video from 2015 where he's in the Pentagon? And this was filmed undercover and released. Okay, we're not supposed to know about this. He's in the Pentagon explaining how the vaccines eat your brain. They can eat out specific parts of your brain, but it's okay to give them to kids. And we trust this man. You trust him. Uncle Bill. There we go. Good old Uncle Bill. They go. It goes into your DNA, and essentially, it deletes who you are. It deletes who you are. So if you want more information, it's CHACA space tribe. It's published on the 21st of March this year. Subtext: Italy blows the lid off the vaccine scam. Globalist eugenics vaccine gate. PRIORIX space TETRA analysis. An update. There you go. I mean, look, not making it up. Real people providing real data, right? We're living in insane times. I posted a quote from Tom Stoppard play Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. It's great. Which actors are in that? Tim. What is wrong with me? Twisting my ears. Tim Roth and Gary Oldman, I believe. Good old England, English boys. Believe it or not. Yeah, great. It's a play story based in the background of the Shakespeare play Hamlet, obviously, following some of the minor characters and their journey. Very, very intelligently done. Great play. Amazing film. It helps if you have a little bit of knowledge of Shakespeare and theatre and stuff, but there you go. Anyway, we cross our bridges. Here's the quote. We cross our bridges as we come to them and burn them behind us, with nothing to show for our progress except the memory of the smell of smoke and the presumption that once our eyes watered. Yep, that's so true. So true. Did you catch my raise my game? Raise your game. Raise our game presentation. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? That's what stopped me getting into a lot of the important detail. Crazy times. Crazy people. Sick people. Sick man. Very sick man. Ezekiel Emanuel. In 2014, Ezekiel Emanuel published a paper in The Atlantic called Why I Hope to Die at 75, because Emanuel is a medical doctor and chair of the University of Pennsylvania's Department of Medical Ethics and Health Policy. Catch my rant about methics versus methics? Medical ethics. Methics. You could just call them methics, right? You could. Did you catch my rant on ethics versus morals? Medical doctor and chair of Pennsylvania's Department of Medical Ethics and Health Policy, as well as a chief architect of Obamacare. Thank you very much. Where did that money come from? The article stirred enormous controversy. Emanuel vowed to refuse not only heroic medical interventions once he turned 75, but also antibiotics and vaccinations. Yes, we play for both sides. His argument: older Americans live too long in a diminished state, raising the question of, as he put it, whether our consumption is worth our contribution. So you're unfit. They're going to decide that you're unfit. They're going to decide without asking you. They're not going to include you in the debate. You realize that? They're not. They've already decided. They've already decided. Right? They've already decided. Further disease. Dis-ease. The coronavirus is taking a toll on mental health. The number of prescriptions for antidepressants, anti-anxiety and anti-insomnia medications filled this week increased 21% between February the 16th and March the 15th, 2020, according to a new report by Express Scripts, the Cigna-owned CI plus 2.13% pharmacy benefit manager. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. Okay. A study analyzed prescription claims filled between January the 19th and March the 15th of this year among a sample of more than 31.5 million commercially insured individuals and found that claims peaked during the week ending March the 15th when the novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19, perhaps. What are these things? We need to look at cause and effect. We need to understand. We need to understand. The pandemic created a panic. Pandemic. I wonder what the etymological origin, the deep etymological origin of that is. That's from that was from MarketWatch.com. Anti-anxiety medication prescriptions have spiked 34% during the coronavirus panic. But don't worry, just to back that up, here's another report. Open up and say, more than 4 million people in England are long-term users of antidepressants. That's huge. How many people in Britain? 60 plus million? Right? About 65, isn't it? 65 million, something like that. And how many would that be in England? Oh, it's a lot. I mean, we're talking adults. I mean, when you break it down to adults living in England, that's a lot. New figures obtained by The Guardian show data released under the Freedom of Information Act, otherwise they'd keep it secret, shows that more than 7.3 million people were prescribed antidepressants in 2017-2018, 4.4 million of whom also received a prescription for such drugs in both of the two previous years. 1.6 million people prescribed antidepressants in the past year were new users. Oh, we need more new users. Meaning they were not being prescribed such drugs in either 2015 to 16 or 2016 to 17. New, they have new customers. Yeah, they have new customers for their drugs. And of course, it's all pharmaceutical drugs, right? They don't suggest getting out. They don't suggest getting involved with social groups. They don't suggest avoiding stress. If you're watching the video version, youtube.com, Dr. Andrew Kaufman, MD, discusses COVID and stress. You can find that video online for as long as it is online. And check out there's a London Real interview coming up this week with Andrew Kaufman. Very important to catch that, I'm quite sure. Even if it's only to hear what you already know and then share it with people. Now, as I pointed out at the beginning when I was waving these pieces of paper around, if you're watching the video version, check the laws, please. Check the laws. Read the laws. There's rules, guidelines, directives are not laws. A bill is not a law, right? Understand the laws and the acts. Understand what's happening with the bypassing. We're bypassing sanity. We're bypassing logic. We're bypassing everything. Everything. Look at the numbers. Compare a strong seasonal flu number with what we're experiencing now. Just go and check online. See for yourself. You might be surprised. You might be surprised. Now, this is so important. I can't emphasize this enough. Travel is freedom. That's it. Travel is freedom. Travel equals freedom. At the same time, travel is now history. It's now history. MarketWatch.com article. Major U.S. airlines are drafting plans for a potential voluntary shutdown of virtually all passenger flights across the U.S., according to industry and federal officials, as government agencies also consider ordering such a move. You do it stay at home, or we order you to stay at home. Shut your business, or we order you to shut your business. Government agencies also considering such a move, and the nation's air traffic control system continues to be ravaged by the coronavirus contagion. Dun, dun, dun. No final decisions have been made, etc. Airlines struggle to keep aircraft flying with minimal passengers. There's still people traveling. You notice, right? Various options are under consideration. But amid the quickly spreading pandemic and mandatory stay-at-home orders, not laws, orders, your leaders have given you orders covering some 80 million US residents. You see, if America falls, the world is screwed. Have you realized that yet? And then if you realize if America, ask yourself, has America fallen already? Ask yourself, ask yourself, ask yourself. Ask yourself. Where are we? Mandatory stay-at-home orders cover 80 million US residents. They cover the residents. Airline executives, pilot union leaders, federal transportation officials said they increasingly view as inevitable further sharp reductions from already decimated schedules. Decimated, destroyed. Yeah. They're going to cut back domestic flying by as much as 40%. Travelers are staying at home at even greater rates. Transportation Security Administration reported that well, why do we even have that? Why does that even exist? Because it's, you notice how the TSA started at airports, but they're called transportation. It's not just for airports, people. They're going to be checking people everywhere. Bus station, railway station, your private journeys. They're going to be checking it all. TSA reported that passenger flow at its checkpoints was down more than 80%. More than 80%. Now these planes don't just carry people. Carry packages, carry mail, carry food and goods. Right? Look, get stuff while you can. Get stuff while you can, because we're being driven into this artificial environment with artificial scarcity. Our financial system creates artificial scarcity, and it does. But it's real. Isn't that funny that the artificial is real? Wild, huh? But it's this is about food, right? If there's not enough food, there's famine. It's coming. Don't say I didn't tell you. It's coming. It's no longer just the US that's facing. I should just go back to bed. And, Donna, oh dear, right. This it's a great graphic of, it's just the ridiculousness of what we're facing, and the ridiculousness of the inability to understand what we're facing. It's no longer just the US that's facing a meat scare. With shutdowns spreading in the world's biggest exporters, serious questions are being raised over global shortfalls. Brazil, the number one shipper of chicken and beef, saw its first major closure with the shutdown of a poultry plant owned by JBS, the world's biggest meat company. Though that's only one facility down in a country with hundreds, the move raised concerns over whether more output could be affected. In the US, where experts were warning that shortages are just weeks away, new shutdowns are hitting at a dizzying rate. Smithfield Food Inc., which is China owned, and you're not supposed to know about it, but that's okay. That's okay, don't worry about it. Anyway, Smithfield Foods Inc., the world's #1 pork producer, said Friday that it was closing another operation, this one in Illinois. That news hit less than an hour after Hormel Foods Corp said it was idling two of its Jennie-O turkey plants in Minnesota. A big hog slaughter facility in Indiana is also shutting. Friday's news added to a flurry of other halts announced in the spate of just a few weeks. This is not just America, guys. If America goes down, we all go down. Meanwhile, beef plants have also been taken offline in Canada, where industry groups are saying they'll probably hold back some supplies that would usually be destined for export. And it goes on and on and on and on. And I could continue and continue and continue and continue. But I think that you get it. I think that you get the picture. Meanwhile, don't worry, because Bill Gates has bought himself a brand new super yacht costing only $644 million. And that'll be the first of his super fleet paid for every time you inject chemicals into your kids. Boom. That's the way that it goes. My name's G. I represent the Academy. Thank you very much for paying attention. Thank you very much for giving me your attention. Thank you very much for just being you. Right. If you want more information, contact me through Twitter, through Facebook. Check out the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching on YouTube. Over 2,500 free videos on all elements of personal development. This video is produced to make you think. To make you think. To make you think. I hope wherever you are, I wish you a fantastic day. Stay cool. Take care. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.